Hi, this is Grammy Kendall, and I'm going to continue reading in Little House in the Big Woods. I'm going to finish chapter 2. So here we go. Then Ma gave them each a drink of good fresh buttermilk. On Saturdays, when Ma made the bread, they each had a little piece of dough to make into a little loaf. They might have a bit of cookie dough, too, to make little cookies, and once Laura even made a pie in her patty pan. After the day's work was done, Ma sometimes cut paper dolls for them. She cut the dolls out of stiff white paper and drew the faces with a pencil. Then from bits of colored paper she cut dresses and hats, ribbons and laces, so that Laura and Mary could dress their dolls beautifully. But the best time of all was at night when Pa came home. He would come in from his tramping through the snowy woods, with tiny icicles hanging on the ends of his mustaches. He would hang his gun on the wall over the door, throw off his fur cap and coat and mittens, and call, "Where's my little half-pint of sweet cider, half drunk up?" That was Laura, because she was so small. Laura and Mary would run to climb on his knees and sit there while he warmed himself by the fire. Then he would put on his coat and cap and mittens again and go out to do the chores and bring in plenty of wood for the fire. There they are playing. Sometimes when Pa had walked his trap lines quickly because the traps were empty, or when he had got some game sooner than usual, he would come home early. Then he would have time to play with Laura and Mary. One game they loved was called Mad Dog. Pa would run his fingers through his thick brown hair, standing it all up on end. Then he dropped on all fours, and growling, he chased Laura and Mary all around the room, trying to get them cornered where they couldn't get away. Here's Pa, here they are playing Mad Dog. That seems like a funny game. I remember these books as being so wholesome. They're so strange. Well, I hope you like them. Hi, Asa. Hi, Malachi. They were quick at dodging and running, but once he caught them against the wood box behind the stove, they couldn't get past Pa, and there was no other way out. Then Pa growled so terribly, his hair was so wild, and his eyes so fierce, that it all seemed real. Mary was so frightened that she couldn't move, but as Pa came nearer, Laura screamed, and with a wild leap and a scramble she went over the wood box, dragging Mary with her. And all at once there was no Mad Dog at all. There was only Pa standing there with his blue eyes shining, looking at Laura. I read all these books to Elliot and Micah when they were small, and now Asa and Malachi. So, here we go. Pa, "Well," he said to Laura, "you're only a little half-pint of cider half drunk up, but by jinks, you're as strong as a little French horse." Wow, what a compliment. "You shouldn't frighten the children so, Charles," Ma said. "Look how big their eyes are." Pa looked, and then he took down his fiddle. He began to play and sing. "Yankee Doodle went to town. He wore his striped trousies. He swore he couldn't see the town. There was so many houses." Laura and Mary forgot all about the Mad Dog. Pa was keeping time with his foot, and Laura clapped her hands to the music when he sang Yankee Doodle. All alone in the wild big woods, and the snow, and the cold, the little log house was warm and snug and cozy. Pa and Ma and Mary and Laura and baby Carrie were comfortable and happy there, especially at night. Then the fire was shining on the hearth. The cold and the dark and the wild beasts were all shut out, and Jack the brindle bulldog and Black Susan the cat lay blinking at the flames in the fireplace. Ma sat in her rocking chair, sewing by the light of the lamp on the table. The lamp was bright and shiny. There was salt in the bottom of its glass bowl with the kerosene, to keep the kerosene from exploding. And there were bits of red flannel among the salt to make it pretty. It was pretty. Laura loved to look at the lamp, with its glass chimney so clean and sparkling, its yellow flame burning so steadily, and its bowl of clear kerosene colored red by the bits of flannel. She loved to look at the fire in the fireplace, flickering and changing all the time, burning yellow and red and sometimes green above the logs, and hovering blue over the golden and ruby coals. And then Pa told stories. When Laura and Mary begged him for a story, he would take them on his knees and tickle their faces with his long whiskers until they laughed aloud. His eyes were blue and merry. One night Pa looked at Black Susan stretching herself before the fire and running her claws out and in, and he said, "Do you know that a panther is a cat? A great, big, wild cat?" "No," said Laura. "Well, it is," said Pa. "Just imagine Black Susan, bigger than Jack and fiercer than Jack when he growls. Then she would be just like a panther." He settled Laura and Mary more comfortably on his knees, and he said, "I'll tell you about Grandpa and the panther." "Your grandpa?" Laura asked. "No, Laura, your grandpa, my father." "Oh," Laura said, and she wriggled closer against Pa's arm. She knew her grandpa. He lived far away in the big woods in a big log house. Here's a picture of the panther. And I'll read the story of Grandpa and the panther in the next installment. That's still chapter 2. Didn't finish it, sorry, but I'll read it next time. This is Grammy Kendall signing off. Hi, Asa. Hi, Malachi.